this is the Pyro Parry glass build. And honestly, one of the most fun PvE builds in Dark Souls 1. In my opinion, obviously. So the whole crux of this build, you're Pyro, right? So, no brainer, Pyromancy, Ascended Flame, +5. But, looking at the stats, we started with the Pyromancer, because that's optimized. All we put into, in terms of levels, was Attunement and Dexterity. That's all you need. Attunement is for your Pyromancy slots. Obviously you need a lot if you want to be running Pyromancy, so I have 7. Dexterity is so your casting time decreases, so you can cast faster. That's important because some Pyromancies take a long time to cast. Dexterity is also important, but that also gets into the parry side of things. So, equipment. What's important to the Pyro? Again, Flame, Crown of Dark Sun, and Bellowing Dragoncraft Ring. These two are what you need to increase your damage. 10% apiece, I believe. For the Crown of Dark Sun, you could instead choose the Crown of Dusk, but yeah, Crown of Dusk, this guy. But it just kind of looks stupid. It's not nearly as horrifying. Not nearly as horrifying. So we don't use it. So feel free to use it if you want. But getting into the other Pyro aspects, you have a fire heater shield, and you have gold hemmed black gloves and skirt. These really have high fire defense. Fire defense 49, fire defense 24. The heater shield is important twofold, one for fire and one for parry. For fire, it's really important because when you put it up the fire path +10, you have the 3rd highest fire shield, resistance shield in the game, only surpassed by the Dragon Crest shield, which is 85, and then the Black Knight shield, which is like 95, I believe. So 84 is insane, and it makes it, it just fits in with the build. But also, this is super important because it allows you to survive in PvE. So the whole point of this build is for Pyro, you're gonna hit people really freaking hard. You're gonna hit people really freaking hard with these big boy spells, right? With these crazy over the top damage spells. And that's great. You're gonna hit bosses super hard, but for the rest of the game, you need some way to deal with regular people. So what are you gonna do? You're literally just gonna parry the rest of the game. For everyone else, you're gonna parry. And this shield allows you to do that. Well, one, it's a great shield because it has such a low weight and has 100% physical reduction. That's fantastic. Obviously, 3rd highest fire resistance in the game. But also, it has it's in the highest tier of parry frames. So this has the fastest parry recovery. So you can do it the fastest, basically, over and over, which is good because you might miss. And it just looks sick, by the way. So again, Pyro, this Pyro Parry build is so fun for PvE because big enemies use the Pyro and smaller enemies you use the parry, right? And so that's where the 45 dexterity gets into the Rapier. Rapier standard +15 has great scaling or good scaling with dexterity. So this increases the damage that you output for it when you're doing a riposte. And a riposte is a parry. Now, the interesting thing about the rapier is that it is literally the highest riposte damaging weapon in the game, other than like your ultra great swords and stuff like that. So these like ultra weapons, yeah, they do a little more damage, but they're also, they take so much to wield in terms of strength and physical stats that it's not worth it. So the rapier plus 15 is everything, and it's fast. You know, if you really want to, you can poke behind the shield. It's just a great way to round off a PvE build of Pyro and Parry, in my opinion, obviously. So 1077, that is chonky damage. Don't be afraid. I don't know what happened there, but we got it, so that's all we need to know. Additionally, so that's great, 1077, that's a lot of damage, but maybe we could do more. Power Within is a pyromancy that increases your overall damage, not just pyromancy damage, but overall damage by 40%. 1508. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But what if I tell you there's this ring? And this ring is called the Hornet Ring. And so this Hornet Ring is what I usually rock on the build as well. And when I'm in parry mode, to be honest, I also take this off and I rock the Lingering Dragon Crest Ring. The Lingering Dragon Crest Ring, instead of making pyromancies or spells stronger, they make them last longer, which makes Power Within actually last longer. So 1960. So we went from 1077 to like 1503 to 1960. And this Hornet Ring is so important to the build. More so than even the Power Within. But if you do the Power Within plus their Lingering Dragon Crest Ring, you're gonna have like a good amount of time that you can just go run around and parry everything and do obscene damage. But I would really like to get to 2000 damage, right? That'd be pretty cool. So let's see if we can get there. And we're gonna use the charcoal pine resin because with our build, we don't have the build to do a sorcery buff or a faith buff, right? So we're gonna have to use, of course, 1425. You know why that happened, right? It's okay. I want to, so we're gonna go back. But that Lingering Dragon Crest makes Power Within stay on very long. So now we got our Pyro buff on our standard. And by the way, that only happens because it's a standard. 1995. So you can only buff standard weapons, by the way, which is why this, again, is a standard. 1995. So we're so close. We're so close to getting. There's not much else we can do. There's not really much else that we can do, but keep in mind that this does have, the rapier has a little strength scaling. Why is that important? Oh my god, I keep missing. If you two-hand, oh, tried to get him with the free. I tried. The free parry, I tried. But, so if you two-hand, most people, or not most people, but I definitely didn't know this at the beginning, you can parry with two hands. So, what you can do is switch it to two hands, then parry, and you have to step to the left a little. 2059. Houston, we do not have a problem. 2059. That is insane damage. Like, insane parry damage. And basically with damage like that, like, you are golden throughout the whole game. Like, there's not, you're just gonna parry anything that's parryable and destroy it. But yeah, so this is my Pyro Parry build, and I think it does damage. I think it kind of slaps, but that's really all I got to it. Again, the whole reason that the scaling mattered with the strength is because if you two-hand with strength, your damage increases up to a certain point. But yeah, so that's the build. Hope you enjoyed.